Hey, what's up everyone? It's been a little while since my last upload. I've still been getting over my sickness from last week. And of course, still going to college, the Army Reserve stuff. It's been a grind, but I got some time to check in with UT Martin with you guys, who are fresh off of 3 straight wins and look to keep the streak alive against North Texas. Today we also have a conference game against Jacksonville State. And of course, the highly anticipated rematch I should say, between Memphis on Christmas Day. Some very exciting games coming at you today. North Texas, our first opponent, we're going to highlight them first. A very solid mid-major program from the Sun Belt Conference. A league that we've seen other schools offer Coach Carter head coaching jobs, such as Florida International last offseason. The 7-2 Mean Green, they play a style similar to some of our opponents in the Ohio Valley. They're led in scoring by their 6-man Hank O'Hanlon. And they love to run and gun. They got the athletes to do so, and they combine that speed with their height. With 8 players above 6'5" on the roster, it also helps them rebound at a high level, more so on the offensive glass. And despite winning 3 straight games, UT Martin has looked a little out of sorts on offense at times. They definitely haven't been playing up to their potential this season. So a game against North Texas, a team who actually has the best offense in the Sun Belt at 80.7 points per game, this could be the game where we see UT Martin go back to their roots a little bit. Chris Fay will win the tip over Denzel Coleman, and we're underway for another episode of UT Martin basketball. The first of our final 2 out-of-conference games here in Denton, Texas, as Easley drives the lane to kick us off, and Odom sends him back. You're already seeing some of the athleticism by these Mean Green players on display as they get out in the open floor. Nice teamwork there between Hassan Dempsey and Blake Gillespie, and a Gillespie layup will get things underway tonight. Let's go back to UT Martin's side of things as Easley sets things up, drives the lane again, this time with his left hand, draws the blocking foul from Ross Edmonds. He doesn't earn free throw surprisingly, but how about this? Already some extracurricular activity. Ross Edmonds wants no part of Easley's sportsmanship there, and they exchange a few words while they're at it. So off of the inbound, as there's the first team foul for the Mean Green, Easley receives the pass, and he'll say, I want the 3 instead of the 2 free throws. Who cares? 3 is worth more than 2. Now Gillespie and the Mean Green take over, and there's a 3-pointer from Dimitri Wilson. And the Mean Green have the early 7-5 advantage, and it's pretty surprising. Despite leading their conference in points per game, the Mean Green are last in 3-point percentage. Pretty interesting splits there as Saunders answers right back and retakes the lead. Saunders above 20 points per game. He is one of the top players in contention for Conference Player of the Year in the Ohio Valley, and Ross Edmonds continues to have a struggling start to this game. Falls for the pump fake, and Saunders has basket number 2. With all this height on the Mean Green defense, UTM's going to have to get creative if they want to score points in the paint, and that's what Saunders does there. Double clutch, getting that layup around the tall trees inside, and now easily picks off a pass, but Gillespie takes it right back. Dwight a little out of control there. Hank O'Hanlon checks in, the 6-man who's the leading scorer for the Mean Green, and Chris Fay is on the wrong side of that mismatch. Left too much space for O'Hanlon, and the seniors got his first basket. He's averaging around 14.5 points per game as the Mean Green fire again, no good. Denzel Coleman is there, the leading rebounder for North Texas, and I've talked a little bit about how good North Texas is on the offensive glass, and Denzel Coleman has his 4th offensive rebound. On the next possession, Blaine Fry rejects Dimitri Wilson on the drive. Easley gives it to Fay, who makes a nice floating pass to Davion Baez, the senior who has been a big storyline this season. Very serviceable, as he really didn't have much playing time in his first 3 years here at UT Martin, but with Evan Schneiderman getting the red shirt, Baez has stepped up and fulfilled that backup small forward role, and he's really made the best of it. Now Luke Lawton, even though he's not really a 3-point sniper, he's not exactly Klay Thompson, you can't leave him space. He's really developed a solid 3-point shot over the years, and easily stays after it on the press, and he's looking for Blaine Fry, who throws down the lob. We love to see that teamwork, don't we? And UT Martin has their biggest lead of the night at 9 points. I definitely haven't talked enough about Dwight Easley's playmaking. If the season ended today, it'd be a career high for him, as Saunders with the shot clock dwindling down. A step back from the corner, and UTM is still up 7. If the season ended today, Dwight Easley would be just a hair under 4 assists per game. And now we see Easley here, creating his own shots. The playmaking, the facilitating, and the shot selection have all been much improved from last episode. Easley with 9 points and 3 assists here in the first half, but there's Damian McCray. North Texas, not exactly full of snipers, but it's been their work beyond the arc that's been a big factor to them staying around after UTM's hot start. Now we're going to dwindle the half down to 10 seconds easily. Last year was so good with the shot clock winding down at the end of a half, but this year he just hasn't had the same success. Blake Gillespie with the scoop and score, but despite the turnover there by Easley, it's finally good to see UTM back on track offensively after struggling on offense last episode. The lead is 3, but UTM should be up by more, I feel. North Texas has had trouble keeping up with our Hawks, but ended up sticking around with their 3-point shooting and their work on the glass. The rebound differential is 4 in favor for the Mean Green. Saunders leads us with 12 points plus 2 threes. Easley also has 9. Good to see them gelling again. The Mean Green's top scorers are Blake Gillespie and Denzel Odom, who both have 8 points. Odom added 6 rebounds, 4 of those on the offensive side. Hank O'Hanlon has made the impact we were all expecting, either the 6-man for UNT. He only has 1 field goal in 8 minutes played. And now that North Texas got themselves back into the game with their tough 3-point shooting, they're using their height and physicality to go back inside. There's a beautiful layup by Ross Edmonds, the freshman. And now the Mean Green knocking on the door looking for the tie, and that's what they get there as Gillespie and Demetri Wilson hook up for an assist. 42 all, North Texas coming off of their first conference game, which was a loss to UL Lafayette. Really trying to get back in the win column today, but they leave the door open for Blaine Fry to lift off and throw down his second slam of the episode. How about that? I didn't know Blaine Fry had a vertical like that, and now Saunders is open, but he's struggling to start the second half a little bit. His first 3 shot attempts have all been misses, and here is Hank O'Hanlon for his second basket. There's still plenty of time to play, but it seems like UTM is facing some adversity and UNT has all the momentum until Dwight Easley pulls and hits for his second 3 of the ball game. 12 for Dwight Easley today. 11:45 left to go as Denzel Odom and Hank O'Hanlon go back and forth, and now Hassan Dempsey will pull. How about that shot? O'Hanlon with assist number 3, and the threes continue to come for the Mean Green. A great offensive day today so far. And now here's O'Hanlon with the entry pass to Edmonds, who's sent back. It's a scrum underneath the rim, and as the dust settles, Luke Lawton comes down with it. Saunders to Easley, who looks cross court, and he will fire and hit off of the jab. How about Easley with 15 now? Every once in a while, we'll see Dwight Easley have a little bit of an explosion, and it looks like today is one of those days. And Hamilton going toe-to-toe with Hank O'Hanlon on the perimeter. Taron Gardner now fed inside, and how about that polished post move from the freshman? The first-year player, Taron Gardner, is actually a native of Denton, Texas, where the North Texas campus is located, so he's playing in front of some friends and family here today, and he's putting on another good performance. And speaking of good performances, Saunders has turned around his here in the second half. He is up to 17 points, and we were waiting for that tray ball. Had some struggles finding his footing here in the second half, but he's come up big. 4 minutes left to play as UTM sports a 4-point lead, and Hamilton's got a mismatch. He blows by Denzel Odom, and with a soft touch, that one swirls around the cylinder and drops. And Pierre Hamilton and Jacques Diggs, we all know how good they were last season. Here in their second years of their careers, they haven't had the same impact. In fact, Jacques Diggs actually got hurt last episode, but he is healthy for the Mean Green game, and this was the first episode where they both looked really good. 3.5 to go. Now a 6-point lead for UTM as they try to defend this Mean Green attack, and Hassan Dempsey not going away quietly. There's his third 3-pointer of the game. But as we've seen a lot over the years, UT Martin is really hard to come back against. They're really good at closing out games thanks to Coach Carter's approach to these delicate situations, and they're proving that again here today. A little movement around and then back out to Ross Edmonds, no good. Denzel Odom tries it, and that one's ripped away from his hands. Saunders with the steal, spin, bounce pass, Lawton finishes. How about that sequence? And UTM tying their biggest lead of the ball game with 2 minutes left to go at 9, and they were able to ride that momentum to their 4th straight victory. Dempsey with 20, but it would just be not enough. As the clock hits 0, UTM makes it 4 wins in a row, taking down the 7-2, now 7-3 North Texas Mean Green. This was definitely a game where UTM showed a lot of perseverance, overcoming a lot of obstacles. There's plenty of times where it looked like North Texas was going to take the lead and take this thing on their side and come out of here with a win, but we managed to overcome. So Easley and Saunders at least 20 points apiece. Blaine Fry with a great day. Taron Gardner playing in front of some friends and family here in his hometown of Denton, Texas. He had another solid performance, continuing to impress off the bench. Now we look forward to the next matchup, the most highly anticipated matchup of year 4. Our Hawks travel to Memphis to try to avenge the loss in the NCAA tournament last year. As Memphis, they had the #1 team offensively in the NCAA in points per game when we faced them a season ago, but because of some graduations like Romeo Hickson, who went to the draft, and Remington Fitzgerald, who graduated, they don't have the same squad. They're 2-5, also because of some injuries they've been battling. Peyton Jimenez, Vlad Copeland, and Treston Sutherland are all playing hurt. 3 other top 5 scorers will be active but a little dinged up. It is Christmas Day here in Memphis. Let's see if we can avenge the loss last year in the NCAAs. Saunders a little long to kick things off, but I have a good feeling about this game. UTM, I feel like they're a lot more mature of a team than a year ago. But Peyton Jimenez with a nice assist to LJ Everett, 2 guys who had great games against us last year. And then of course Memphis with this half-court press. We saw this in the NCAA tournament last year. Whenever the opposing point guard gets across half court, you see Vlad Copeland trying to force that guard to one side so they can bring a trap. But there is Chris Fay with doing a great job of having his hands ready. That is such an underrated part of being a solid big man on offense. Always have your hands ready and be ready to catch the ball when you got guys like Dwight Easley who can deliver passes. Now Fry rather, will reject LJ Everett, his first miss. Saunders a little short, fighting through some contact, but Chris Fay is there to have his back, and Fay actually has all of UT Martin's first 6 points, as Saunders nearly records a steal there, and the Tigers bring it up. And on this possession, we'll be getting a good look at Vlad Copeland, who nails this 3. Gets a little bit fortunate with that turn of events. Off deflection, he found himself wide open. Copeland was injured last time out in the NCAA tournament a year ago, but he's active and healthy for this one as he delivers a backdoor feed to Peyton Jimenez, the high flyer, with his first basket of the game, and UTM down by 9. They started off very slow a year ago against Memphis, and that's continuing here. Look at Memphis with their seemingly easy press break there, 21-10. UTM trying to find some answers, and maybe one of the answers is taking off this press, as you can see here. UTM last year, they took off the press at halftime and were able to slow down Memphis a little bit, and easily. Immediately off the timeout, the play is run through him. Good passing there by Jacques Diggs, unselfish play, and UTM down by 8. Going backdoor though is Jimenez again, and Jacques Diggs is tacked for the foul. Memphis up by 10. They're proving that they can still put up points despite their injury woes, despite some graduations in the offseason. 28-17, Memphis on top, 3 seconds left. Ball reversal to Diggs from the corner. Jacques Diggs, has been a while since I've spoken his name in a positive light, but trust me, this episode was the first time here in year 4 we saw positive plays from Hamilton and Diggs. The dynamic duo seeming to be back on track, as there's Diggs with a beautiful pass to Davion Baez. Let's go. That's how you run transition right there. Ball never touched the floor once it passed half court. 28-23, some big shots here, closing the gap as Everett drives. He weaves his way around Schofield, and how about that pass? That one was just as good as Diggs. Everett falling out of bounds, and he finds Vlad Copeland for a huge bucket. But here comes the trap, and how about, oh wait, what in the world is going on there? Chaos, but somehow Taron Gardner comes down with it. Pierre Hamilton threw that pass between the legs of Copeland, nutmegged him. Schofield received it, got it taken away from, but Gardner's there to clean up the mess. Once again, just another great hustle play from the freshman. So the bench with some fight, still down by 10 as Gardner's met with a trap after the entry pass. Baez fires. That one's a little short, but Gardner's there, and he finds Diggs at the free throw line. Extended bucket for Diggs. 5 points, as he did a great job sealing off Copeland from behind him and getting that shot off with not much space to operate. And check out Pierre and Jacques high-fiving each other. That's how you know they're back in their rhythm. Every time they made a great play last year, they were always high-fiving and celebrating together. And Diggs, he gives Lawton a tremendous lead pass so he could do some damage in the post there. Lawton's first basket coming off that layup. It's been a while since UTM's been this close to the lead. 35-29, the ball reversal to Yusuf Weeks though. That will change the dynamic of this game a little bit. Memphis still staying in front, as it would still remain a 9-point lead with 3 seconds to go, as Yusuf Weeks now drives baseline, double clutch move. Wow, that was an impressive take for the sophomore. The 6-man Yusuf Weeks has 7, and we go into the break down 11. I don't think UTM's performance is really being shown on the scoreboard that well. We got a lot of deflections on defense. We fought as hard as we could, but there were so many rebounds and tip passes that just didn't go our way that Memphis recovered, and they're near 50 points. But remember, this is a team who just led the NCAA in team scoring a year ago and is still hungry for a win. After starting out 2-5 this season, it's normal for them to still be a nightmare to stop on offense. Easily enjoys another great game with 7 and 4 made free throws. Chris Fay has 8 and 9 minutes, and speaking of deflections, there's another one there. Finally some fight on defense that actually results in a score. So Easily now up to 9. Someone I haven't talked about a lot though, if you notice, is Saunders. He's 1 for 7 with 4 misses beyond the arc. His poor performance is no question taking a toll on this offensive attack. We're still down 10 as Fay will drive and he will absorb some contact from Copeland. Not often we see Fay pull up for a jumper, but he does, and he will convert. So a chance for an extra point at the line. Fay, one of the few guys who has really put on a show tonight, as he's now up to double digits. Despite the deflections, the block shots and all that, UTM needs to really tighten things up on the perimeter. Memphis 46 points in the first half. They had 30 of those from their guards. And there's Ernest Wagner with a nifty take there. But Pierre Hamilton always has his eyes up, doesn't he? Nice job fitting that pass to Marcus Saunders for his second field goal, as he tries to turn around his fortunes as well. I mean, that's what he did in the North Texas game. He started out slow in the second half and managed to have a very productive stat line to end things off, but Vlad Copeland's not making it easy. How about tray ball number 3 for him on 5 attempts? 56-47 as now Saunders receives a pass, turns and fires. Hamilton with assist number 3. Despite not having a lot of action out here, he's making an impact. Saunders going mano-a-mano with Vlad Copeland there, exchanging threes. 2 more baskets for UTM, slimming the deficit to 2 as Blaine Fry, a soft touch with the offhand. He's got his second basket in 4 attempts, and UTM has tied up this game. 9 unanswered points for the Skyhawks as they continue to try to lock down this Memphis attack. Claiborne back out to Yusuf Weeks, double clutch, and it falls. How about the circus shot from the baseline by the 6-man, Kari Claiborne, and Yusuf Weeks go back and forth there with a nice offensive basket on that time. So 60-58, Memphis back in front. Tristan Sutherland tries to go back door, and that one is picked off. Davion Baez with some active hands, and how did he slip that pass in there? We're going to have to take a second look at that one as Saunders puts it in. A good look for him there. Look at that wraparound pass. Baez not exactly the most, pass first guy. He's not John Stockton, but just goes to show no matter what role you play, you can still always be unselfish and facilitate. Now here's Tristan Sutherland trying to challenge Chris Fay, and he wants none of that. Sends it back and easily to Davion Baez. Again hits. Easily with assist number 2, and Davion Baez continues to play a huge role. How about the senior with 10 points? Another great game for him. 65-63 as Diggs to Gardner goes to Easley, who drives baseline for the tie. Under 5 minutes to go. Looks like we're going to be in for a photo finish here in Memphis. Both Gardner and Diggs getting some extended run out here as that shot's tipped away from Everett, I believe. Diggs got a piece of it and he's running too. Nice lead pass by Easley, and the teamwork has been great here in the second half. Meanwhile, Memphis has been in the low 30% here in the second half. 69-67, under 2 to play as Faye's fed in the short corner. Bounce pass, Saunders thought about it as he and Fry check in. Now Blaine looks to Easley. As we're going to speed this up here a little bit, Saunders decided not to take that open shot he had. So now, as UTM's going to have to improvise here at the end of the shot clock. 3 seconds left as Faye drives, and he has it taken away, and he's down for a second. He's got to get back up. But for now, Memphis has numbers, and that leaves Peyton Jimenez with the biggest shot of the ball game. They had it 4-on-5, and unlike the Denver Nuggets the other nights, they actually did not mess up that opportunity. Everett with assist number 4, but Luke Lawton, wow! Luke Lawton has had some big baskets down the stretch in these last 2 games, and he puts in another one. 4 points for the junior. And now we're only seconds to play as Everett fires no good, but Jimenez is there. He has it ripped away. It's a scrum underneath. Who wants it? Third time, no. Dustin Brockman cannot make it. Wow. UTM catches a break. They put their foot down. And they take it away. So now they have the lead and the possession as Saunders is open in the zone defense but can't hit again. Tristan Sutherland with rebound number 5. A crazy series of events down the stretch, and Memphis has one more chance with 20 seconds to go. Will they fall victim to the upset? 15 seconds. Copeland, he's going to have to hurry here. 12 seconds now. Not much has been ran offensively for Memphis. Now with 8 seconds, it looks like they're going to go to work. Here comes Jimenez. He rotates it to Everett. That one, oh! It just rimmed out. They got the look they wanted for the lead. But Everett left it a little too long and it just leaked out. UTM catches a break down the stretch. They hold on for dear life to get revenge. 71-70 here on Christmas Day. What a Christmas gift for the fans, as UT Martin has now won 5 straight games and they look great. 10-2 on the year. Chris Fay with one of the best games we've seen from him. How about 13-11, 5 steals for the junior. Saunders rebounded with 15, Easley with 11-3, and Hamilton 2-4. Diggs with 7 points. They both were outstanding today. And as you can see, Memphis, they had the scoring, but it just tapered off in the second half. They finished the game shooting 31% in the second half compared to their high 50s mark they had in the first half. But even though UTM has won their last 5, they still have some work to do if they want to fight for that number 1 seed. Austin Peay, Morehead State, and Samford, who's undefeated, they look like the favorites as UTM sits at 4th. Take a look, see if you see your favorite team here in the mix for the playoffs. So from here on out in year 4, it's going to be all conference games, and we're going to get into some simulating, but not before we face Jacksonville State, a road game for us. And Marcus Saunders goes head-to-head with Britton Holland, the top 2 guys who are in the running for Conference Player of the Year as Holland tries to defend his title. 23 points per game. He's a stud, and he's a guy that I haven't talked about a lot over the course of the series. Neither have I talked about Jacksonville State much, just because he's been a great player, but they haven't been very competitive. But now they got Jaden King. He's a transfer, a junior with 2 years of eligibility left, and he lights it up in most, if not all, categories. So Britton Holland has some help this year as Jacksonville State tries to make the playoffs for the first time in this series' history. And Easley, with 2 solid games this episode, he's picking it up right where he left off, getting us on the stat sheet here in Jacksonville State territory. And then Jaden King, a little too careless with the pass. Lawton floats it ahead to Easley. Now he assists to Saunders, who drops it through. And Saunders a little up and down. He's had his moments this episode, but we're trying to see a full 30 minutes played for the senior. And how about Jaden King making up for that turnover? A beautiful pass to Alston. Maurice Alston is another guy who's developed alongside Britton Holland, who looks to have a career year this year, and that was actually Faye's 2nd personal foul. So now Taron Gardner checks in, and whoa, Gardner, I've never seen a finish like that from him. A double clutch, to say the least. 12-6 game now. So Faye, fresh off of his 19 points, 11 rebound performance, he has an early exit here in the first, and finally a Britton Holland sighting, as Jaden King gave him a nice crisp bounce pass to the wing. And Holland, he's going to have a lot of work to do if he wants to reach his 23 point per game average. That pass is almost tipped away, but Saunders, he takes it over in a little bit of a wacky possession here. He almost actually travels, but he gets it back, and then he hits. Saunders, a quick start, 7 points for the senior. And look at Taron Gardner hustling, busting his butt to beat everybody up the floor and take that pass away, and Saunders will draw the foul. It's little plays like that that have really made Coach Carter take a shine to the freshman Gardner. And here he is again beating the press as Diggs has some room as he finds Schofield, who botches the short-range jump shot. Quinn Anobi, who had a good game in this one, a really good rebounder, he pulls it down, starts the break, and Denzel Coleman with the double clutch, and that one leaks into the rim. Denzel Coleman, he is another transfer who sat out last year, but Jacksonville State is very excited for him. This is definitely the best team they've put together in the 4-year stint of Coach Carter's career here in the Ohio Valley. 20-16. The hot start for UTM has been almost entirely taken away as Diggs missing, but there's Gardner again. He's fighting again, 6 points. And it's 20-16 Gamecocks, now 24-20 with 6 and some change left to go in the first half. We're going to go with 5 bench players here. Hamilton over to Diggs, the dynamic duo, they hook up there for a 3-pointer. Diggs makes his first tray ball in his first attempt from beyond the arc here against the Gamecocks, and it's a very important stretch of minutes here for these 5 bench players out on the floor as Hamilton drives with a kick, and Baez, that one will drop. It looked like it was going to rim out there for a second, but Baez continues his hot play. So at the line, Denzel Coleman, he'll make 1 of 2 to tie things back up. He was at the receiving end of a Blaine Fry foul, which gives him 2 fouls now. So both of our starting big guys out of the game for 2 fouls apiece. So now we have Dominique Cleveland and Gene Schofield joining the starters as Luke Lawton hits yet another 3. 29-26. UTM has the advantage with 4.5 left to go. Easily surveys, gives it to Saunders, who has a backup guard on him. He'll take him and then wrap around a pass to Dominic Cleveland, the 7'2" Space Eater. He'll finish 1. Saunders, a little bit worrisome, his performance this game. He hasn't been the greatest this episode, but a nice pass there, and he's going to have to find ways to contribute in other facets of the ball game. Schofield collects his second rebound as Easley runs the break. He's trying to take Quinn Anobi, the backup forward. He can't, as Lawton will give it back to him, but he finds some space. Easily, he loses Anobi off the ball, and he rims in another one. 34-32 UTM as we dwindle this down to 1.5 minutes as Faye and Fry retake the floor. Saunders yet with another miss, but Faye, no. Saunders on the 3rd attempt, he's open, but the rim is just not friendly to Saunders and Faye today. They've both been really struggling. Jaden King Jr. brings it back the other way as he blows by Blaine Fry. Way too quick for Fry to keep up. That on top of Fry, he's got to really play meticulous defense to avoid any more foul trouble. 36-34, Jacksonville State in the lead. How about the Gamecocks? They're trying to play spoiler to UTM. It looks like UTM's been caught off guard by Jacksonville State's team play. 5 assists from Jaden King, 2 from Holland, just smart offensive execution by JVSU. UTM is losing the rebound battle by 3, partly because of Fry and Faye sitting next to Coach Carter for a majority of the first half due to their foul trouble. The Gamecocks got into the bonus with 6 minutes to go in the first half and didn't look back there. They made a lot of free throws as a team. The Britton Holland versus Marcus Saunders matchup has not lived up to the hype thus far. Marcus has missed his last 5 attempts, going 3 for 8, and Holland only had 4 points, 1 of 5 shooting. Maybe one of those guys catching fire will serve to be the difference maker today. Nice shot there. Jaden King Jr. assisting Maurice Alston again. Easily has 7 and 3 as he brings it back the other way, and Taron Gardner has played some very important minutes. 6 points, a rebound and a block as Saunders will try it again, but he continues to struggle. Ice cold is Saunders. And that would also rub off on UTM. They're in a bit of a rut here to open up the second half, down by 4 with 8 and some change left to go. The bench checks in, and Diggs will foul Britton Holland on the 3-point shot, and he converts. You just cannot foul a jump shooter, especially not one of Britton Holland's caliber. And Holland, who's been struggling today a little bit, just like Saunders, he will double his point total from 4 to 8 with just 1 shot. 54-49. That was definitely a momentum swinger, as we're under halfway to go here in this game. Easily with the drive, and that should retake some momentum for the Skyhawks. Easily with a cross on Alston, and he will finish through Tony Benzel's foul. And a little bit of chest pump there between him and Faye. UTM with a little bit of their swagger back after that really nice take to the cup by Easley. And now here comes Desmond Hornsby from the corner, running a little pick and roll, double cross, feeds it into Alston, back out to Lawrence Eldridge, who has also played a very solid game. Eldridge, the 6th man, as we've seen the 6 men in this episode from our opponents really make impacts. If you've been a viewer with a watchful eye, you've probably noticed a lot more one-on-one this game, just not enough team assists. We got to try to share the ball more, and that's what we seem to be doing on this possession. Faye to Saunders to Easley, as he throws up the pump, finds plenty of real estate to shoot the rock. And Easley tickles the twine for 16 on the ball game, another very important game for Easley as he's keeping us in it. 58-55 continues to be the score as we're now approaching 3 minutes to play. The end of the game right around the corner as UTM running out of time here. Alston will drive the lane, and how about the help applied by Fries? He pulls down only his first rebound. That's pretty crazy to see. And not only that, but Faye, it's been crazy to see him not make an impact scoring the ball. He's been without a field goal until that and one. Takes it on Desmond Hornsby, and now he's got a chance to tie this ball game with a free throw. Faye 1 of 7. So Blaine Fry without a rebound until just now, and now Faye without a field goal until that 3-point bucket. Faye shooting around 70% from the charity stripe. He gets that one to drop. So now we're under 3 to play. 58-58 ball game. Jaden King Jr., who's been a great facilitator today, will initiate the offense. Now Desmond Hornsby, he'll float this one around, catching and firing. There is another assist for Jaden King Jr. 8 on the ball game, second in the conference in that category. And Lawrence Eldridge, he makes another huge basket. Now King with a sham god, trying to put the moves on Easley and company. That one not as successful for Aldridge. And Easley with a great outlet pass, and Lawton with a fearless take there. Now we're approaching a minute to go. This is clutch time, and Lawton, 2 makes on 5 attempts. Get another huge layup down the stretch. He's had at least one in every game this episode. Here comes King as he looks around, gives it to Hornsby, and that one is snatched away from Easley. How about steal number 5? Both ends of the floor, he's been doing it at a high level, and Blaine Fry, with the smart play, he'll reset it to Easley. And now watch Saunders on this play as they actually switch that pick. So a bigger guy on Saunders, that means somebody has to have a mismatch, and it's Blaine Fry. He's got a mouse in the house, and he tries to take advantage, but the double team comes. Impeccable timing on that rotation. And now Jacksonville State has the lead with 26 seconds to go. They could dribble out the clock, but not on Easley's watch. He takes it away and puts it in. Wow, a scoop and score for Dwight Easley. That's not the first time we've seen him do that. I remember back in year 2 whenever we faced our rivals, the Belmont Bruins, a very similar situation. We were down by 1, no shot clock, and Easley did the same exact thing he did just now. Jaden King, he will try to take the lead. Oh, that one just a tad long. Wow, 2 really crazy games back to back, but if Easley will just hit 1, we might have secured this win. Now a 2-point game, and it looks like Coach Carter wants Easley to miss the second one on purpose. JVSU with no timeouts left, 2.3 seconds as Alston grabs the board. Here comes Holland for the win. Oh, that one looked good out of his hand, but it was just off to the left. UT Martin continues the win streak, as from here on out it's all conference games, so they're trying to stay hot to improve their seeding as the race for the #1 seed in the OVC, it heats up here. And a huge game for Taron Gardner off the bench, as he really did a great job filling the shoes of Faye and Fry when they were dealing with their foul trouble. Another crazy game this episode. So, a little bit of simulating to end off this episode. 11-2 is UT Martin. They've won 6 straight. Let's see if they can stay hot against Austin Peay, one of the teams who actually lead them in the standings right now. Then we're also going to simulate the Tennessee Tech game and the EIU game to wrap things up this episode. And we're going to begin with a win. 83-59 is your final here against the Austin Peay Governors, as Chris Faye gets back on track, making 12 free throws. Hamilton and Diggs combined it for 16 points and 3 assists. Overall, a great team win as we ran Austin Peay off the floor. And then we continue. How about 7 straight wins? Tennessee Tech, they just don't have the same team this season. 24 for Marcus Saunders, but don't let that fool you. It was a great team win. Once again, 9 assists for Hamilton and 4 for Diggs. Team assists played a huge factor in this victory, as we were able to overcome Tyrese Cowan's 15-9 off the bench. And then we survived Eastern Illinois, a team who only has 1 win on the season so far. Blaine Fry with 10 rebounds, did a great job, really being an anchor down low, as most of the offense came from the perimeter for EIU that game. Very one-sided attack, and we were able to take advantage. But despite this win streak, UTM is still not #1. That would go to the Samford Bulldogs, 9-0 in the conference. Wow. I don't think we've ever seen a team start out that hot in this series, as UTM right now, despite having the best record overall in the conference, they still got some more work to do if they want to overtake Samford. And guess who we see on the schedule? the two teams that bookend us right now in the standings. First Morehead State, and then a battle in Samford. Two very exciting teams, and two teams that we may see come playoff time. So thanks for stopping by today. I know you guys want to see some more updates around the conference. To kick off next episode, I'll show you guys the league leaders, you know, who's leading the OVC in each category and such. UTM, they've been looking a lot better here over the last few weeks, of course, with the win streak. So we're going to see if we can continue with our winning ways in some of the biggest games of the season next time out as we continue to fight for the #1 seed. Stay tuned for that and more here on College Sports Revived.